What's up, boys? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be doing my All-Star ballot for the 2022 MLB season. So, we are sitting here middle of June. The deadline for the first group of voting ends June 30th. And, this isn't voting for the starters, just, the most deserving one player right now, basically, in the top vote getters. We'll get to move on to see who gets starters. We'll see how it goes here, but we're starting here in first base. Got the American League on the left, National League on the right, and for each position, I guess we'll start with the American League. So here, we're going to start in the American, and the easy answer, yes, I do have it sorted by OPS, by the way. I'm going to go with Ty France here, first baseman for the Seattle Mariners. There's a couple other deserving guys. I'd say second place probably goes to Vlad, and then third, Luis Arias. Which Luis Arias, he's right there with Ty France right now. But I could see Vlad getting the most votes just because he's Vlad, and the fan vote thing is a flawed system. But Ty France definitely deserves it the most, no doubt about it. At this point, there's a long time. Keep in mind, there's still 2 weeks left in this voting process, and if Ty France goes on a cold streak, he could easily be passed. But anyways, here in the National League, easy choice, Paul Goldschmidt. It's unfortunate for Pete Alonso because he so also deserves to be a starting first baseman for the National League, but it looks like he's going to end up being a reserve player at this point because Paul Goldschmidt's just been too good so far. Second base in the American League is where I really had some trouble. It came down to Jose Altuve and Andres Gimenez. And for me, as much as I hate to do it, I really do. I went with Jose Altuve. His what in the world? His WRC plus is far higher than Gimenez's, and it hurts to do it, but he's on the better team as well, so I'm going to go Jose Altuve here. In the National League, Jazz Chisholm and Jeff McNeil are the top guys. Nolan Gorman hasn't played enough to be deserving of it necessarily, so I'm going to go Jazz Chisholm here. He doesn't have the best average, obviously, but I like him to be the starting second baseman in the National League. Third base, boy, do we have a race in third base in the American League. Jose Ramirez and Rafael Devers, 2 MVP candidates lining up here. I'm going Jose Ramirez. He's got the better glove, and I know his slash line doesn't look quite as good, but OPS, Jose Ramirez is, I think, having to carry his team more so than Rafi Devers is, obviously. So I'm going to go Jose Ramirez at third base in the American. National League, Manny Machado, Nolan Arenado, and Austin Riley. I think Manny Machado at this point is a slight step above Arenado and Riley. These two are more closely contested right now. But I'm going to go Manny Machado right now, currently at third base. Shortstop in the American League is also interesting. Tim Anderson, he doesn't have quite the plate appearances that Xander Bogaerts does. And it's weird. Slash lines, Tim Anderson's slash line looks insane, but the sample size is limited. So it's really tough. If Tim Anderson plays the rest of the way and continues to put up those numbers, I'll go Tim Anderson. But right now, I'm going to give the slight edge to Xander Bogaerts. Shortstop in the National League, Trey Turner, Dansby Swanson, and Tommy Edman are my top 3, with Francisco Lindor, who was formerly one of the top guys. He's kind of cooled off this month, so he's kind of on the outside looking in right now. But I'm going to go Trey Turner. As much as my Dansby Swanson and Braves bias wants me to choose him, I got to go Trey Turner. He's just been slightly the best one so far. I like to see Dansby be a reserve player, though. That'd be nice. And honestly, if Dansby keeps putting up the month of June that he's been putting up the past couple of weeks, then he will surpass Trey Turner eventually, but we'll see how it goes. Catcher, Alejandro Kirk is the clear option in the American League. Here in the National League, it's also fairly obvious. Wilson Contreras definitely deserves it. There are some other guys who have had good years, like including our guy Travis d'Arnaud, but right now it's got to go to Contreras. Outfield is where it gets interesting because you get 3 choices each, obviously one in left, one in center, and one in right. We'll start here in the American, where there are 2 obvious choices, guys that are locks you have to go with. First of all is going to be Aaron Judge, and second, Mike Trout. Those guys, if you don't have them in your all-star starting outfield in the American League, you're doing it wrong. The third guy is where it gets tough. Taylor Ward, Byron Buxton, and George Springer are what I narrowed it down to. Taylor Ward hasn't played in a while, which is what makes it really tough for me to put him there. It really is. If Taylor Ward comes back soon and continues to put up the numbers that he was doing before, I'll put him in the starting outfield. But since he hasn't played in a while, I feel like I just can't do it. So between Byron Buxton and George Springer, their numbers are fairly similar. But right now, Byron Buxton hasn't played the most either. So I'm going to go George Springer just so barely right there. Taylor Ward feels like he's getting somewhat snubbed, but, I mean, it's hard to say that with the lack of playing time lately. Right now, in the National League, there's also a couple of good options. It's not as loaded, if I'm being honest. Honestly, I think there's more depth, but not as much top-tier seasons compared to these guys. But, obviously, Mookie Betts has to be a part of it. And that's kind of the only lock, in my opinion. Outside of that, Acuna has put up insane numbers since he's been back. Like, just absolutely incredible. But he hasn't played that awful much. But since there's no one out there that I think is going to surpass him, and I think he's going to put up those numbers until the All-Star break, it's going to be hard for the voters to leave him out. And he's also a fan favorite. So I'm going to go Ronald Acuna with that second outfield spot. In the third, I narrowed it down to Jock Peterson and Juan Soto. So that's tough. I mean, where am I supposed to go here? Because Jock Peterson doesn't quite play every single day, but his numbers are just insane. And Juan Soto is also having a good season, but I just don't think it's as good as Jock's. I really don't. I think we can't just put in Juan Soto because he's one of the best players in the league. If he's having a slightly down season, he's having a slightly down season. So I'm going to go Jock. I'm going Jock as that third outfielder. And I know that may seem weird to some people, but I mean, he deserves it right now. He does. Man, imagine if the Braves would have re-signed him. Goodness. Okay, in the DH category for the American League, Yordan Alvarez is the easy choice. Yes, JD Martinez having himself a really nice season as well. But, I mean, just look at Yordan's numbers. That's insane. Like, he's a top 5 pure hitter in the MLB. National League, as much as I want to give it to my boy William Contreras, he hasn't played as much as Bryce Harper. And since Harper's done it over a longer period of time, and the counting numbers are a little higher since he's done it for a longer period of time, I'm going to go Bryce Harper here to move on. So this is my all-star teams for this first period of time here. Just looking at it, I think the National League's team is overall better. But I mean, apparently the American League just owns the National League in All-Star games. But it doesn't matter. But that is my All-Star voting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do all of that YouTube stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one.